here is today's Sod of the Day. Martin Lewis, interviewed by Peter Hamill. I'm Peter Hamill. Martin Lewis, welcome.
Thank you, Peter.
Now, Lewis is a name we associate with news quite a lot, isn't it? One thinks instinctively of Tony Lewis, the sportsman. Gavin Nestler's mother's maiden name was Lewis. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
So, well, there's one
and none of us are related.
Well, it's a strong newsy name. Of course, in America, there's Huey and his lot. But what about news? How does it help us?
How does news help us? I think it presents us with events and stories which help to make us more rounded, fuller people.
How can we be sure that we haven't just watched a news bulletin which contained, say, a 290-degree news rather than a 360-degree one?
Well, I think you have to accept that what we decide to do is that we pick the top 12, 13, 14 stories of the day.
So it's very much like a sort of album chart.
How do you mean?
In that you have a prioritisation system.
Yes, of course we do. I mean, I think people do in most walks of life. I don't see anything unusual about having that in the news.
I suppose what you're saying is that the tape is always the same size.
The tape is always the same size.
It's not going to vary, is it?
In terms of the length, you're right. I mean,
the length of tape is the same size.
2.5 minutes, yes.
And obviously on a story about transport policy, you wouldn't go so far as to examine what a road was.
Well, when if a story is complex, then it helps to provide all the explanation you would need, as though someone was picking it up for the first time, because for one reason or another they haven't been listening for the previous 4 or 5 days.
And this is the sort of thing that Newsnight perhaps would do that the main bulletins wouldn't.
Oh no, the main bulletins would as well. We would
explain what a road was.
We would explain.
Yep.
We would explain what a road was.
Now, this is a book aimed at showing young people what to do. Particularly impressed here with the cross-referencing in the book. Who thought of that?
Well, that was my idea, because it's the young person's Bible. And, of course, I realised that if you knew the name of the organisation you were going for, well, then, of course, you just look it up, and the book is compiled in alphabetical order.
Now, why
alphabetical?
Most people...
Well, I mean, alphabetical, because, we're all used to working with dictionaries and thesauruses and even telephone directories, and alphabetical order is, a perfectly natural way of doing things.
I suppose we take it for granted, but is it?
Oh, yes, I think so. Except, and this is why I put in the different categories that you're talking about, except when you don't know the name of the organisations offering the opportunity that you as a young person might want.
Hence the cross-referencing.
Hence the cross-referencing, a special category section. So it's very easy and quick for you to get to those opportunities.
And nail them down in a kill.
Sure.
Now, could you just take us through the cross-referencing system and how exactly it works?
All right, well, let's take a general area of interest.
Photography?
Okay, photography, you would probably home in on... Let me just have a look here. It could be sport and leisure. Well, let me just test it. Okay, well, first of all, you would
look under F.
It may not be an actual photographic organisation. Right, so there's no actual photographic organisation.
Is this cross-referencing now?
Yes, this is the cross-referencing now.
Yep.
It's not under there. It's under...
Something else.
Further educational training and vocational training. I would suspect that if people were looking for a career in photography, that there would be something there. Film and TV, Way In.
No.
197.
And this is cross-referencing now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Brilliant.
I mean, this is the whole point, that
it doesn't
there are
work.
500 organisations represented here, and
it doesn't work.
Some of them are quite wide in their embrace, in their remit.
And the great thing actually is that while you're using the cross-referencing system, you can skim through and find out about things that you didn't actually know about. Kibbutz
that's
Volunteer,
right.
Ockenden Venture, I see here, the Sean Ryder Foundation.
Sure.
That might be quite fun for young people, I suppose.
Yeah, sure.
Next piece of music.
Okay, here's today's second feedback report. We're looking today at spherical cattle, making them round. Do you agree with that?
I don't agree with that.
How would a spherical cow get around its pen?
Well, I should think you'd have to put some sort of netting round it to guide it.
So they could just sort of grip on the net.
That's right. You couldn't leave it in the field or anything like that.
Well, imagine if it was in a pen and the water was at the other end of the pen and it was thirsty. How would it manage?
Well, can they smell it?
Well, I suppose they'd have a nose on the circumference.
Well, is it? They've got to have some sort of a smell of it.
Let's assume they have.
They roll to it.
They'd roll towards it.
Yeah.
How would they actually manage to make themselves roll?
Muscles. Their own muscle strength inside them.
Would it be better off with a leg?
Well, I should think so. They can walk along just like a chicken, 2 legs.
Unless the legs were opposite sides, and then they would have to go around like a sort of a broken mine.
Well, it can go as a ball. If you had a ball and you put 2 legs to it, one either side of the ball.
Right, but if they were sticking out at the side, they'd be like sort of long, thin ears or something, and it would just bounce off the wall.
Well, then you're getting like something from outer space.
If you gave it 2 legs, would you have them side by side, or would you have them on opposite ends of the ball?
Side by side.
How far apart?
2 or 3 foot.
And what about if it was a milk cow?
There's a milk cow. Perhaps they might do a square one.
And if you saw a spherical cow and you had a gun about you, would you shoot it?
Yeah.
Don't forget, Paul Garner in less than an hour will be invading a taxi. What he is he's dressed up as a kind of geekish Buddy Holly. We've also covered him in TCP for extra added nerdish effect. And Peter Bainham is next door checking out your average prices and price tags left on present.
Chris!
Peter, I'm talking. Don't come into the studio when I'm talking.
Chris!
The red light's on.
Chris!
What?
Chris, there is a body in there.
What the hell are you talking about?
There is a body in Studio 3.
Oh, yeah.
Chris, I'm not bloody joking.
A body?
There's a body in Studio 3.
Who is it?
I think it's Johnny Walker.
Johnny Walker's dead in Studio 3.
Yes.
Do you know what that shows?
What?
That shows if you're a DJ that still plays vinyl, you shouldn't share needles. It just killed Johnny Walker.
Chris, I'm not bloody joking. There is Johnny Walker in
What do
there.
you think he died of? You think he took so many poppers his head fell out of his arse?
Chris, I don't care. Look at me.
Is that puke?
Yes, it's puke.
God, he's serious. Come on.
Yes,
Can
come
you
on.
fade up Studio 3? Fade up Studio 3. Can you fade it up when we go through? Jeez. What's that? Hang on, turn that tape off.
Yeah.
Turn it off.
Yes, okay. Yeah, okay.
Get those flies away from his head. I'll see if I can identify. It is Johnny Walker. Look.
Yes.
He's lying on the floor like an old sock.
Johnny! Johnny, wake up!
He's dead.
Johnny! Johnny! Johnny!
Peter, stop slapping his face. He's dead. You'll slap it off. You'll slap his face off. He's dead. Peter! Peter! God, what do you do to his face? You sick. Just cover his head up.
What?
Put this record sleeve on his head.
Stop.
Cover his head up. He's dead.
Oh. Okay.
Now I'm going to phone security. You sit on his head. I don't want him sitting up like some stiffs do. I'm going to phone security. Sit on his head.
Yes, okay.
Control room.
Hello, can we have Johnny Walker's body removed from Studio 3 as quickly as possible, please?
I beg your pardon?
Yes, Johnny Walker's body removed from Studio 3 as quickly as possible, please.
Sorry, Johnny Walker's...
Body. Is there anything we should do now?
I don't understand. Can you explain the situation?
Yeah, my name is... and I'd like you to remove Johnny Walker's body from Studio 3 as quickly as possible, please. I'd appreciate your full speed.
Johnny Walker's body from Studio 2?
As quickly as possible, please.
Yeah, what? I mean, is the guy dead or what?
Of course he's dead.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, I don't understand what's going on.
Listen, he's dead. Can you remove his body? Can you be as quick as possible, please? Just say yes.
Yeah, I'll get in touch with somebody right away.
Thank you.
What did he say?
He said that we have to take the body through to our studio.
What?
He said that you've got to drag the body through to our studio.
What
That's
are
what
you
he said.
talking about,
Yeah.
Chris?
So, Peter, listen, just drag the body through to the studio.
No!
Look, you're in shock. Just do what you're told.
Chris!
Peter, a man's died. There are rules to follow now. Drag him
Chris,
through.
I don't care.
Peter,
I'm not taking
please,
bloody... What?
Peter, please, drag dead Johnny Walker through to our studio.
Oh.
Just grab hold of his boot. Mind the spur.
God almighty.
Disentangle his head from the tape machine.
Oh.
And just pull him through. Don't dribble on him. Thanks, Peter. That's great. That's great.
It's not, buddy.
That's great. You say his head's stuck in the door. Okay, hang on. Shit. This was Johnny Walker's favourite piece of music. Every day he'd turn up to work, this was blasting from the speakers of his moped. Okay, Peter, just, bring his body in.
Yeah.
You got rid of the flies?
Yes, it's
Okay, just put it down in the chair here.
Yeah, we'll do my best. Oh, God.
Did you hear that?
Oh, what a horrible noise.
Did you hear that when you dropped him in the chair? Some air came out of his lung and went through his throat. You were saying, right, that he should be allowed to say goodbye to his fans.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a shame, but he can't, can he, really? I mean...
Well, actually, he can.
What are you talking about?
When I spoke to the security guard, he said that we had to punch a couple of holes in the back of his neck.
What for?
We got to do that for the corpse.
What do you mean do that? What's it for?
It's procedure. So
Really?
when you do that,
Yeah.
you can actually make him talk.
How?
All you need for him to talk, right, is air going across his vocal cords. Think about it.
Yeah, but he's dead. I mean...
Yeah. Punch the holes in the back of his neck.
What, with this?
Yeah. Go on. Just work it. Go on.
Give it here. So...
Oh, that's right. No. That's it.
Yeah.
Just push it through.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Now, all you have to do is blow through the neck,
No!
and I'll move the mouth.
What?
Blow through the neck, and I'll move the mouth.
This is disgusting.
Just do it, Peter. You want him to say goodbye. It's your idea. Now do it.
Do you think this
Just
is right?
do it.
This is the best thing?
It is the right thing to do. I'm telling you.
Okay. So
I'll move the mouth. Hang on.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Now do that again. Just give a bit more breath. Brilliant!
That was amazing. He said goodbye.
Yay!
Can we do it again?
Yeah.
Go on.
Go on, blow again. Nice
That is
one!
absolutely fantastic.
Hey, look.
God.
Put that in his mouth.
Okay.
And
Oh my God. Wait a minute. What
Do
if I
that.
sit him on this thing? Wait a minute. No, this thing.
Yeah,
Here,
okay,
right,
sit him on that.
Right, put that there.
okay, let's ask him, Hal. Let's ask him. Johnny, hold his head and wag it when I say,
yeah.
when I give you the thumbs
Okay,
up.
okay.
Do you want to sit on that? Okay, now sit him on it.
What? One minute.
Oh, brilliant. Do that again. Johnny! Oh, wow. Hey! No, Peter, hang on. Enough's enough. Enough's enough. I'll tell you what. What? Why don't you skull pop him? What? On the basis of what a group of randomly chosen members of you, the public, told us. So these people were the so-called 1FM sound advisors. And what did they want? Well, the results came in like this. One person wanted something from the 60s, like the Beatles. Second advisor wanted something rather strangely from the 50s, Louis Prima. Listener number 3 wanted some rap. Number 4 wanted some techno. More orthodox pop choice from number 5. Sophisto pop for listener number 6, Prefab Sprout. And sound advisor number 7 wanted something from Midge Ure. So the combined advice of the 1FM sound advisors is this. It's not going to vary, is it?
In terms of the length, you're right. I mean,
The length of tape is the same size.
2.5 minutes, yes.
And obviously on a story about transport policy, you wouldn't go so far as to examine what a road was.
Well, if...
Album chart,
How do you mean?
in that you have a prioritization system.
Yes, of course we do. I mean, I think people do in most walks of life. I don't see anything unusual about having that in the news.
I suppose what you're saying is that the tape is always the same size.
The tape is always the same size.
Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
well, there's one
and
for you
and
to put
none
in
of
your
us
pipe.
are related.
Well, it's a strong newsy name. Of course, in America, there's Huey and his lot. But what about news? How does it help us?
How does news help us? I think it presents us with events and stories which help to make us more rounded, fuller people.
How can we be sure that we haven't just watched a news bulletin which contained, say, a 290-degree news rather than a 360-degree one?
Well, I think you have to accept that what we decide to do is that we pick the top 12, 13, 14 stories of the day.
So it's very much like a sort of... Here is today's Sod of the Day.
Martin Lewis, interviewed by Peter Hamill. I'm Peter Hamill. Martin Lewis, welcome.
Thank you, Peter.
Now, Lewis is a name we associate with news quite a lot, isn't it? One thinks instinctively of Tony Lewis, the sportsman. Gavin Nestler's mother's maiden name was Lewis.